Thanks for letting me be part of Global IAP Day. So, as you mentioned, I'm class of 2002. I'm signing from Hong Kong. And this is going to be a guided meditation. We're switching gears a little bit from the last talk on finding restfulness and cultivating positivity. So let's begin. Let's begin by settling into our meditation posture. And by that, I would like you to perhaps straighten your spine, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. You can tilt your head forward just a little bit. And your eyes can be closed or open with a soft gaze. Either way is okay. And we're going to start by noticing anywhere in our body that feels restful. And by restful, we're looking for parts of our body that have very little or no sensory activity. For example, my shoulders are very relaxed right now. There's very little activity, so I'm going to hold my attention there. You might also notice your hands and feet are usually quite restful, so you can pay your attention on hands and feet too. And the exhale of the breath is also very restful, so you can also guide your attention there too. And if you notice any muscle tensions, you can relax those muscles, and you might find restfulness there too. What would also be restful is the lack of emotional activity. Maybe you're not happy and you're not sad, you're just very neutral. That's what we call emotional peace. And if that's the case for you, you can hold your attention there too and notice how peaceful it is. Now, once you contact the restfulness, what I'd like you to do is to hold your attention for a few seconds on that restfulness and really soak into that quality, that relaxing, restful, tranquil quality. If it's easy, you can make a mental label and just label it rest and hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to repeat the process. We're going to guide our attention to somewhere that is restful, label it rest, and hold our attention for a few seconds, and repeat. It can be the same place, it can be a different area, as long as we're pointing our attention to somewhere that is restful, and hold on attention to it, and that's okay. So we're going to explore this for a little while. Remember, you can always find restfulness in your hands, feet. Exhale the breath. Or anywhere where your muscle has tension and you just relax away that tension melts away. And really soak into that relaxing, tranquil quality that's there. Remember, what we're trying to do is find somewhere that's restful. You can label it rest. Hold on it for a few seconds and repeat. If you find yourself lost in thought, that's okay. Just guide your attention back to somewhere that is restful, anywhere that has little or no activity in your body or emotional peace. We're going to explore this for a few more minutes. It's possible sometimes as you soak into that restfulness, you might even notice that restfulness spread and cover your entire body. And if that happens, you can just enjoy it. But if there are sometimes challenging experiences that come up, and that's okay too, you can try to turn away and put that in the background and anchor yourself to somewhere else that is restful. See if that helps. Remember, you can point your attention to the same place or to different areas of your body, or zoom out a little bit and let that rest cover your entire body. Remember that rest is always available. Your hands or feet, or exhale the breath. Good. Okay, so next we're gonna switch gears. We're going to cultivate some positivity. What we're gonna do is activate positive emotions, and then we hold our attention on that positivity. So there are a few ways to activate positive emotions. The first way is to think of a happy memory. It could be like a mental image, you know, mental talk, something someone said to you, or even your favorite song. You can also activate it by flipping a switch. Some people can just will it and have positive emotions just kind of like come up. You can also create some positivity from restfulness. Perhaps you were really restful and that restfulness really transitioned and turned into this really pleasant, positive sensation. And finally, you can also just smile. You can notice how smiling changes how your body physically and emotionally. And once you activate that positive emotion, I would like you to soak into that positive emotion and let it spread across your entire body. So we're going to do that now. You're going to try to activate the positive emotion using like a happy memory, flipping a switch, or transitioning from restfulness, or just smile and really soak into it once you activate it. And when the positivity fades away, we repeat the process, like striking a bell. We activate it, soak into it until it fades away, and we repeat. So we're going to explore this for a little while. If the positivity is subtle, that's okay. Sometimes subtle is good enough. Just try to maintain contact with that positive subtleness. What's important is to constantly strike the bell, activate the positive emotion, and hold your attention on that positive emotion and let it spread across your body. You can even try to radiate it beyond your body to objects in your room, to others in the Zoom session, to your friends, your family, to people you don't know, and beyond to the rest of the world. Just really soak into it and make it spread and radiate. Again, if you're lost in thought, that's okay. Just guide your attention back to activating it with a happy memory, flip a switch using restfulness, or just smile. Soak into it, let it spread. And when it fades, just repeat. We're going to explore this for a few more minutes. If you're really soaking to that positivity and you're able to make it spread and radiate everywhere, that's great. But sometimes negative emotions do come up. When that does, that's okay too. You can try to turn away and put those challenging emotions in the background and try to contact any kind of subtle positivity that's there using one of the four methods. Remember, the ways to activate it is using a happy memory, like a mental image, or mental talk, or favorite song, or flipping a switch, or using tranquility and restfulness to take you to a positive state, or just smile. And once you have that positive emotion, just really try to radiate it, beaming it towards other people, other objects. Okay, great work, everyone. You can slowly transition out of your meditated state and see if you can maintain this positive emotion that you've developed from our practice. And I'm going to give a short explanation of the two techniques we just did, and maybe there'll be time for a Q&A and some reports that come up. So what did we just do here? We did two techniques. The first one is on finding restfulness. What we did was we continually guided attention to restful locations in our body over and over again. And the reason we do this is because our monkey mind tends to focus on whatever is active and whatever comes next. If your attention is kind of like an arrow, it's always just pointing to the next active thing that comes up. Maybe the next thought that comes up, or the next sensation that comes up, or the next thing you see, or the next thing you hear. And when that happens and you're not aware of it, it's easy to get caught up and to always feel like your mind is just very busy racing to the next active thing. And that's how we become stressful or anxious. And what this technique does is it's doing the opposite. It's constantly trying to guide attention to somewhere that is restful, that has no activity, that is very peaceful and calm. And it helps us remind us that this restfulness, this peace, it's available to us at any time, anywhere. We just have to point our attention to it. So that's the first technique. The second technique is about cultivating positivity. We activate a positive emotion, and then we point our attention towards it, and then try to soak into it, and then make it spread and make it grow. And the reason we do this is because, let's say we've all had experiences where you feel like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and you're just like in a bad mood, and the bad things seem worse during the day, and then even the good things don't seem that great. And your reality is very much colored by this negativity. And this practice does the exact opposite, where it helps you color your reality with positivity by constantly reinforcing positive thoughts and then spreading it towards, friends and family and strangers you don't know. It directly improves your thoughts and relationships and the way you feel at any time. So these are the two techniques. I thought they're both very useful in counteracting perhaps, some of those interesting times we live in. And interested if you guys have any questions about the two techniques, or if you have any interesting reports that you might want to share. Maybe you had a really good session or like a really challenging session.
Hi, Hassan, did you have a question?
Yes. No, for me, it went very well. I mean, it was a lot better than I had hoped for, actually. I had a tense forehead. And when I went into the positivity, just with the smile, it completely went away, which was just amazing.
I'm happy to hear that. So it sounds like, just by smiling, you notice like, that tension you had in your forehead just kind of went away and you felt better immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. That's smiling is probably my favorite way of activating the positive emotion. I notice when I just smile, then my entire body just kind of like, it starts opening up in the chest. It just relaxes a little bit and it puts me in a very positive state. So the four methods I listed, whichever one works, but if you can just take one of them and just constantly reinforce that positivity. So hopefully that'll be something that you'll find useful in the future.
Kenny, can you tell us a little bit about how long you've been meditating and what is your personal meditation practice?
Sure. I've meditated over 2 years now, but I pretty much jumped right to the deep end very quickly. I went to like a 10-day meditation retreat. That's when I really experienced very profound transformative benefits from that retreat. And then since then, I quickly went on and studied, and I moved into like an hour daily practice. Now it's close to like 90 minutes daily practice. And I've done a lot of home retreats as well, where I just airplane mode and then go off the grid and just meditate like around 10 hours a day. So I have about 1,000 hours of meditative experience. I'm technically a certified mindfulness coach. I've gone under teacher training over the past summer to really take this hobby of mine and turn it into something more serious, like, really benefited me. And I felt like I want to help more people feel the same benefits that I have experienced.
Hassan asked, can you share the meditative retreat?
Sure. So there are quite a few. The one I joined was called Vipassana Retreat. If you just search Vipassana, or I'll type that in and I'll find a URL and type it in. And they have a lot of retreats available all over the world. And while the name of that retreat is called Vipassana Retreat, Vipassana really refers to something the Buddhist traditions called insight meditation, where, for example, if you go to like Headspace or Calm, a lot of that kind of meditation is more of a calming meditation, where you're focused on your breath and you feel really calm. For Vipassana meditation or insight meditation, it's a little more in depth, where sometimes you investigate the sensory experiences. You're not just, what you notice, like, in our meditation is we don't just kind of like hold our attention on something. We really soak into it. We try to enjoy and notice the qualities of how relaxing it is, or how that positive emotion can spread. So let me, yeah, I found the website. So I'm going to click into it, and the one I went to is based in Hong Kong, but they have locations everywhere. And if you have the time and to join such a retreat, I highly recommend it. It's very transformative.
And Tucker asked, is there a meditation to help me get to sleep faster?
What I would recommend is like more of a calming meditation. So like the one where we're finding restfulness. Generally, people find that to be very useful because, if the thing is if you have trouble falling asleep, there could be a variety of reasons. One of them that meditation can help is by maybe if you're like, caught up in a lot of anxious thoughts or stressful things, and that keeps your mind just very active. As I mentioned earlier, this kind of restfulness just kind of points you to somewhere that's restful. So your mind kind of like slowly calms down a little bit. But yeah, how to sleep faster. You can also like, do breathing techniques. Just breathe a little slower. That also helps. But sometimes also could be like, lifestyle. But in terms of meditation, I would recommend like the finding restfulness technique that we did.
Do you have any apps that you like? Or what are your favorite ones?
I think so. For just something like more calming and simple, I think Headspace and Calm do the job. But generally, for my own practice, I just set a timer and I do something kind of like what we just did. Sometimes the voice helps, but the practice really is just a set of instructions. For example, for finding restfulness, it's just you find somewhere restful, you label it rest, 2-3 seconds, and just repeat. And that's all you really need. And then you just need another timer to kind of say to, okay, your meditation time is up. So there's one called Insight Timer, which does that job, where it starts with a gong and then 60 minutes later it ends with a gong.
Would you say like for beginners, a guided meditation is more helpful? And then as you kind of progress and have done meditation longer, then you can kind of do a more silent meditation?
Absolutely. Definitely, I would start with like a guided meditation. And Headspace and Calm, they're great for that.
Great. Does anyone else have any questions? Kenny, I found it very, very soothing and it was great. I belong to a meditation group and it's always nice to hear other people's meditations, and I really appreciate your being here today. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for organizing. I'm glad you found it helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.